Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Inspiration by Loretta Show, for minds and inspired hearts. I'm your host, Loretta ReallyWant, and I'm here today with Ms. Shanika Bowman and Ms. Ann Mixter. We're going to be talking today about what women really want. So you sit tight and relax, and we'll be right back.
Strip me naked, see into my soul.
Hi, I am Tasha McNeil, author of Behind the Mask, Aging While Watching the Inspiration.
This episode is our very first live taping with an in-studio audience.
Sorry, you're on the Inspiration by Loretta Show. Okay.
So are we doing any,
We want your
speaking?
feedback.
Oh,
This is the first time that I've done my show, and this week is my interview going to be one-on-one. I'm excited. I want us to have a lot of fun. Alright, we are back. I'm here today with Ms. Ann Mixter. She's a good friend of mine. She's a registered nurse. She's a wife. She's a mom. She's a woman who's also a single mom. She's a coordinator at MUSC Hospital. And we're going to be talking about what women really want. But before we get into that conversation, I want to start the show off with a little bit of inspiration. And that inspiration today is going to come from my poetry book entitled Strip Me Naked, See Into My Soul. And I chose this piece today because I think it's very pertinent to what we'll be talking about, and I pray that it will encourage you and everyone here in the audience on today. The poem is entitled To Build a House. From girls to women, from daughters to mothers to grandmothers, women go through so much. But a woman who understands her greatness can heal nations by her gentle and loving touch. A girl is the foundation of womanhood because this is where the pouring in of wisdom begins. She transitions into womanhood, she learns, she grows, she experiences, but the pouring in never ends. Her life process has begun. The foundation has been laid. Now she must build her house. Inside she stores her precious things, her God, her children, and her spouse. Love is her walls, family is her nails. Spirituality is her roof, and her key is education. While building, she must find the motivation to fight past manipulation, yield not to temptation, so that in her house she is still an inspiration. Termites will eat away at her walls, storms will try to penetrate her roof, earthquakes will shake her foundation. If her beams, sidings, and shingles have been soaked in the Word of God, and she relies on prayer and supplication. As a girl, she is taught to pray with expectation. When she's a mother, she is given the revelation. As a grandmother, she leads a generation to know that her house will never fall. From girls to women, from daughters to mothers to grandmothers, women go through so much. With the hands of a carpenter, the mind of an architect, the strength of an ox, and the heart of a lion, women build mansions. That is cool. All right, so I just said that piece has definitely inspired you to listen. Everyone who's watching and the audience here today. So that's how we're starting our show today. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to be talking to these great women about what women really want. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to have this conversation. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Inspiration by Loretta show, where we explore minds and inspire hearts. First question of the day: what do women really want? Now, the reason why I decided to have this topic for discussion, because when I ask myself that question, I kind of have a hard time with it. What is it do I, as a woman, really want? What do I want in my life, my career, my marriage, my family, my business? What is it that I really want? What is the most important thing to us as women? So, Shamika, when you think about that question, what comes to mind?
Nothing. It's such a hard question to answer. You would have to break down the categories. What do I want in my relationship? What do I want in my life? What do I want in my bank account?
Right.
You would have to figure it out one layer at a time, actually. So to kind of generalize it would be hard.
Okay, Anne, what do you say?
What I really want is to make a difference, to be here and I work in a school as a school nurse, and I want to be able to empower other girls by the things that I say, the things that I do, by building trust, by just being not necessarily a friend to those girls, but being someone that they feel comfortable with, someone that they feel comfortable talking to. The other thing that I want is my husband and I are going on are getting ready to have our 30-year wedding anniversary. I want for us to never lose the love that we have for each other and our friendship and those things. And then the other thing that I want is I'm a grandmother of a two-year-old in a couple months, and I want to be the best grandmother that I can be to her and be an example for her, and just, you know, and for my daughter as well. But I want for my granddaughter to feel loved, to feel beautiful, to feel strong, to feel appreciated, and to know that she matters in this world. And those are pretty much the most important things to me. And to be a good friend to those people that I'm friends with.
Right. Now, I noticed in everything that you shared, everything that you want is for somebody else.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that? Everything that she said that she wants as a woman is for someone else. Now, isn't that the norm for women? Everything that we mostly want is for somebody else. But what I want us to think about today is, what do we want for us? Think about it. What do we want for us? What does Loretta want for Loretta? What does Shamika want for just Shamika? Not your daughter, not your family, but for you. Do women ever think about that? I mean, I'm sure that there are some women. Not every woman is like the women that's gathered here today. There might be some women who's me, myself, and I all the time. But most women, most good women, decent women, God-fearing women, when they want something, it's always for somebody else, the people that matter most in their lives. So if you think about that, Shamika, is there one particular thing that you would want for you and just solely you?
No, because I mean everything you think about, just like she said, you want to be a better person, but if you're a better person for yourself, nobody recognizes that. If I'm a better mom, then people recognize I'm a better mom. If I'm a better friend, people recognize I'm a better friend. Or whatever it is you're doing based on the result, not necessarily to be recognized because you did, but just how you, when you lay down at night, you say, oh, I did a good job at that because, you know, I made such and such day. If somebody called and said, oh, I got a flat tire, you went by, you helped me, you did that. You're not going to be like, oh, she owed me $20 because I got, you know, you did that. That was your thing that you wanted to do. Or just like for your kids, you do all these things for your kids. You don't expect to be recognized. You just expect that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So everything you think about, even in education-wise, when you say, oh, I'm going to go get a PhD because I want my kids to know that their mom is educated. You're never really thinking about yourself. I'm going to get this PhD because I just want to be the most educated. You really, it's kind of hard to answer that question without thinking about somebody else.
And have you ever thought about, you know, something that you wanted solely for you?
Probably the most important thing for me is to not let my spirituality wane, to not let my faith wane, because if I don't keep myself fed, then I can't be what other people need me to be. So I guess the most important thing to me is to maintain that relationship with the Father.
Right. Okay. That's very good. And myself, I've never wanted anything for myself. I've never.
It's hard. Yeah, that's hard.
It's very difficult to, because everything is especially once you have children, your life is no longer your own. It's about them. It's about making the best life for them, to make sure they have what they need, to make sure that you're able to sometimes give them what they want. If you have a spouse, you're worried about, you know, what your spouse needs. How can you be a benefit to the person that you have in your life? How can you be a benefit to those around you, your community, your family, the world? You know, it's always about somebody else. Audience. Is anyone in the audience that has a say on, you know, what women want? Have any of you women ever thought about what it is that you really want? Not all at once.
Well, I am in agreement with all of you. I believe that it's probably the way we are designed. We are women, but we're here to serve somebody else. So it is very difficult for you to say, well, I want this for me, I want that for me. And granted, some women don't have problems, you know, with thinking about themselves. But what Shamika said reminded me of the question my husband asked me like 2 weeks ago. Baby, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, nothing. And he said, nothing, you gotta give me something. And I said, as long as the boys are happy and my family is happy, that's all I want. So, like, I think we are just designed to put others before us.
I agree, 100%. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back from the break, we'll have some more on this topic, what women really want. Stay tuned.
I am Elisha Moore, also known as Runway, and you are watching the Inspiration by Loretta show.
All right, we are back. Thank you for tuning in to this episode, this edition of the Inspiration by Loretta show, and I pray that you are being inspired. So, women, what is the role of a woman in the family? What is our role? And
Everything.
everything.
I mean, I feel like women hold the family together.
Right.
I mean, I know that biblically the man is the spiritual leader of the household, but at the same time, you know, it's our heart. We have a heart for our children, for our, you know, husbands, which I'm not saying that they don't either, but I just really feel like we're kind of the glue that keeps the family together.
I agree.
I I agree with what she's saying. Especially with like single moms, you don't have a husband to rely on. You do have family members a lot of times, but it's you. You go home, you can't say, well, ask dad this or ask, it's you. You're everything. So you're the go-to. You either get it done or it don't get done.
So the woman is the family. Without mom, you know how they say happy wife, happy life, or if mom's not happy, nobody's happy because we seem to carry the weight of the family on our shoulders. The men are they lead, but it's the woman that carries the load. You know, we have to pray for our husbands, you know, to keep them strong, to pray them through things. You know, we have to pray for our children. We have to keep the family covered all the time. You know, who is doing that for us? Who does that for us?
Nobody that I know of, unless there's someone out there praying that I don't know about.
So I mean, I pose that question because I want us women to think about that and realize how valuable we are to our families, to the world. We're extremely valuable because the people around us probably won't be able to function without my job over. Then when I'm asleep, I'm thinking about the next day, all the things that I have to do all over again. So does it ever end for women? Does it ever?
No.
It doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem so. So, and that's why I thought that it's very important for us to have this conversation about what is it that women really want. Here's the question. What is it that we need? What do you need from your family, from your husband, from your life, from your God? What is it that you need?
To not feel empty. To not have that feeling of running on it. To be able to have that feeling of, you know, like, I mean, if we could pull up to the gas pump and just plug in and fill up with gas.
Right.
You know, and I know God can do that for us, but we have to be, you know, willing to allow that to happen. And sometimes we get so locked in to, I'm so tired and I've done this and I've done that and I'm just, you know, I'm exhausted. How can I do this again tomorrow? Especially, you know, for a single mom, like going to work every day, coming home, taking care of the kids and taking care of everything else. I mean, and then, you know, like you were saying, you know, the husband
Gets a break.
They go to work all day and they come home even though you go to work all day and they get a break.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, like I would love to be able to pull up to the gas pump and fill up.
I love that. Me too. Should be good.
Well, outside of the spiritual, you know, that's something personal, but like earthly things, I would say a support system. Like I want to be able to call on the phone and say, hey, I'm having a bad day, and I need somebody to be able to say, hey, you got this. You did this before, you keep doing it, and it'll work out.
I love that you said that because that is very important. Because a lot of times we don't have that, or we feel like we don't have that. I had a conversation with a young lady, and she was telling me she felt like she was so alone. She didn't have anybody, and I said, well, as long as you got Jesus, you all right. It's easy to say that, you know, but when somebody is going through, you know that you have God, you know, there to support you and supply your every need, if you know, you believe that. But sometimes you just need somebody to be there to hold your hand and say, girlfriend, it's gonna be okay, you know, or my sister, I got you, you know, don't worry about it. Come on, let's go have a drink. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. But when you feel like you don't have that, what do you do then, you know? So how do you manage if you feel like you're all alone in this world, you have nobody that you can turn to? Or how do we as women come together and support one another so that, how can we be our sister's keeper?
My issue is I'm bad about reaching out to people. I shut down when, you know, when I'm going through something. And I know that I have people I can reach out to, but at the same time, I don't want to burden them. And so my problem is that, like I say, when I'm going through something really tough, I will shut down and just try to deal with it on my own. And I don't know how to change that.
Okay, Sharika, you being a single mom, I know it must be sometimes difficult.
Well, when I say support system, I use friends too. I call everybody to let them know what's going on. Sometimes you just need to vent. Whether they can give you the advice you need or support you, you just need to vent. I need somebody to listen to this problem that I have. You might not be able to solve it, but I need you to just listen.
Right.
For 5 minutes. I might not even need you to say anything, but sometimes people just need a listening ear. Just to get it all off your chest.
Right.
So.
That's definitely true. Definitely. And my ear is in the audience.
I mean, even sometimes you have friends that call you, or they tell you some things. They might not tell you everything, but when you learn people, family or friends, you still have to call and check on them sometimes, because just like you said, you shut down. You need somebody who knows, well, oh, she's not doing it. She don't sound right. Let me call her back and make sure everything is okay. Oh, I haven't heard from her in 2 days. Let me see what the problem is. So.
That's true. And we definitely need that, and I thank God that I have a few people who does that for me. So now, let's get to the nitty gritty of this thing right here, ladies. What do we want from our Sharika, I'm going to start with you. You being a single woman, we're married women. You're a single woman. What do you want from men, or what would you want from the men? What do you want from the man in your life? You want to know it all, honey.
Okay. I think being single and really looking for somebody to marry and settle down when it comes to childcare. You might say, I think for most of the single people, we have this list. I want to be tall, I want him to have a mustache, I want him to have no kids, and those are not really things that you should be looking for. Especially if you're looking for the iconic person. You're looking for a red box with a green bow, and that's not necessarily what it's going to come back to. So I think once you get older and you get trial and error, what you're looking for is not what it looks like. You learn people, you learn what people have to offer you. Sometimes you meet people and they offer you something, you're like, I wasn't even looking for that, but that's a bit crazy. I like that. Let's work on that. Right. And you didn't know that you needed that. So it's kind of hard to really know. And I think sometimes, as far as dating with single people, if you're closed-minded, again, and you're looking for that, if it doesn't fit that description that you want, you kind of push back. Well, he wasn't tall enough, so I'm not going to talk to him at all. But you never know if that might be the person for you. But that's one of those questions that's really just trial and error.
And it's definitely true that when you think you want one thing, you actually have no idea, because the thing that you need looks nothing like what you thought you wanted. Prime example, I like light-skinned, tall, sexy men, right? Always have. My husband's in the, But do I have tall and light-skinned? I gotta be a nice, hot, sexy child. But that was what God had ordered for me. He's like, yeah, Loretta, I know what you like, but I'm gonna give you what you need. I tell you, when God gives you what you need, it don't matter what it looks like. You're gonna love it. You're gonna accept it, and you're gonna be blessed by it threefold. Okay? So, Ms. Ann, what do you want from your man? Not me, your man.
Well, I actually wrote my husband a letter the other day, and I said, I know you're the kind of person that tries to fix everything. You think you can fix anything and everything, and you've always been like that. I said, when I'm broken, when I'm going through a hard time, I don't need you to fix me. I need you to sit down with me, hold me, hug me, and tell me that everything is going to be all right. like I said, years later, God really put us together, and it's an amazing story how we came together, but that's But anyway, God knew what He was doing when He put us together.
He knows it all. He knows everything about us.
Yes.
He knows more than we even know about ourselves. So it's amazing how He works. So everybody, we're going to take a break for our poetry segment, and we'll be right back.
I think about rose petals, a morning's honeysuckle dew, a busy bee, and a hummingbird. I think about how I used to sing, 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 but that hummingbird doesn't sing anymore. When I think about us, I think about soft clouds, dark rivers of the night sky, and a cool breeze. I still cry out to hear the hummingbird sing again, but that hummingbird doesn't want to sing anymore. When it comes to thinking about us, I think about a meadow moving with the wind, a silent beach current, and the footsteps of couples. I often beg that hummingbird to sing, but that hummingbird acts like it doesn't want to sing anymore. When I get deep in my thoughts, I think about a dove moving swiftly through the sky, a black stallion galloping through a field, and butterflies dancing above tulips. I wait to see if that hummingbird will sing once more, at least for me, but it doesn't sing anymore. Now that I know what's left for us, I think of bouquets of black flowers, dying plants, vacant parking lots, and that happy couple walking their separate ways. I noticed something I never noticed before. I kept hoping for changes that were already outworn. I realized that hummingbird doesn't sing because it has nothing left to sing for. Goodbye, birdie. I hope you find your song.
We're still here talking about what women really want. So ladies, the question that I like to ask now is, what is it that separates you from every other woman in the world? What is the one thing that makes you special? We'll start with you, Sharika.
I think I just have a special personality. I really don't know how to describe it, but I think it works well with others.
I agree with her. I'm that way too. I try to get along with everybody and try not to judge and just try to get to know people where they are.
I don't know if there's one thing that makes me special. I think that there's a lot of things that make me special. I believe that God has chosen me to be me. Nobody else can do what I do because I was specifically handcrafted and molded to just be Loretta. That's it. And that's what makes me special. So, all right, ladies, when it comes to what women really want, I think we can all agree that mostly what we want is to be everything that we need to be for everybody that we love, for every life that we come in contact with, to make a difference to everybody, to impact everybody. Would you agree?
Yes.
So we want a lot, pretty much. Now, the one thing that we hadn't talked about is okay, financially or materialistically, what do we really want? I mean, does it make a difference? Does the finer things in life really make a difference? Is that what women really want? We want things, material things. We want the best house, best car, the most money in the bank, or is just the minimum enough? What's enough for women? Okay.
Well, I think materialistically we all want it. I don't think it makes a difference at the end of the day, but that's just something that we appease ourselves, okay, I got a raise this year, I'm trading in this Ultima, I think it's time for me to upgrade to a Lexus. I've been in this house 20 years, 3 bedrooms, I think it's time to upgrade to 5 bedrooms. I just think sometimes we want to reward ourselves with those things, material things to remind us, okay, I achieved this, I achieved that. Sometimes, it might not necessarily be the right answer, but we kind of need that materialistic to value, to look at and say, I earned that, I did that, I deserve it. And again, it doesn't make a difference because you still have the same joys. You know, you still love your family the same way. You still gonna praise God the same way, hopefully. But it really doesn't make a difference whether you decide to, you know, invest in those materialistic things.
I guess the age that I am now, I went through, you know, course phases where I thought that I needed more things. I needed a bigger house. I needed, you know, this, that, and the other. But I have come to a place right now where I would like to go through my garage and go through my house and get rid of everything possible and move into one of those tiny houses that they have now.
And that's kind of like the person that I am also. The basic is just fine with me. I wouldn't mind, you know, having a bigger house, but man, that's more rooms I gotta clean. You know what I'm saying? Anything wrong though with wanting more? No, there's nothing wrong. And then, do we really deserve it? I mean, think about it. With everything that we do as women, don't we deserve it?
Yes.
Now, ladies, what advice would you give to women, other women, when it comes to discovering or defining what it is that you really want? Shamika.
I think you would have to. For me, it's a spiritual thing. It has to be. It's something I desire. I have to make sure it's what I want. At the end of the day, am I doing this for me? Like we said originally, but if I go to school for this degree, it's not because Loretta wanted me to go to school. It's because it's what I want, and when I'm finished, I'm going to be happy with that, whatever it is. You have to focus on yourself. You have to be true to yourself and say, this is what I want because I'm going to be happy with this decision. So, you know, when you start listening to other people, yeah, it's okay to get opinions, but when you let those opinions consume you, it kind of alters your own decision. So you got to just know what that you want.
One of the things that I do, and I'm not a guidance counselor by any means, but a lot of the kids at school come and talk to me. And they would rather come and talk to me than go to guidance because they feel like they can trust me and talk to me about anything. And I tell them, you know, the ones that are getting ready to graduate, weigh out your pros and cons, pray, you know, there's so much out there. You don't have to do what someone else wants you to do. You don't have to be who someone else wants you to be. Be who you were put on this earth to be. And, you know, like I say, just really pray about it, and don't settle. Don't ever do things that other people expect of you. If you're happy working at wherever, you know, and you don't want to go to college, that's okay. But if you want to excel and you want to go to college and you want all these things, then work and do what you have to do that. And I deal with you know, teenagers way more than I deal with anybody else in that perspective.
Okay, that sounds good. I believe that when it comes to defining what it is that you really want, you have to know who you are first. There's no way to really know what you want if you don't know who you are. And in knowing who you are, you must know whose you are. You must know who you belong to. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it goes way deeper than just on the surface, oh, I want this or I want that. You know, you can't really and truly know until you know who you are. You have to know your worth. You have to realize what your worth is. You have to realize how important you are to you. You have to realize how important you are to God. And then you have to realize how important you are to the people around you. Everything that we do as women affects somebody. You know, our children, our spouse, our family, our community, you know, it affects the world. Everything that we do. So when it comes to defining what you as a woman individually want, first start off by discovering your worth, because you are worth so much more than you can even imagine. If you haven't done it already, I would advise that you will establish a relationship with God. It'll be one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life. And He will direct your. I want to thank these ladies for being on the show today. Thank you so much, Miss Ann, for gracing our stage on today. Thank you so much, Shamika, for sharing your point of view with myself and the audience. I want to thank the in-studio audience on today. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you so much. So everybody that's watching, this has been this edition of the Inspiration by Loretta Show, and it is my prayer that something shared here today has inspired you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time. Be blessed, everybody.
Hi, I'm Rose, owner of Aqua Nail and Spa here in Lansing Rose, South Carolina, Summer Views. I am proud sponsor of this episode of the Inspiration by Loretta Show.